Your mind is about to change in ways that most people are not prepared for. And it is not because of AI, it's because Uranus is moving into Gemini. We are entering a profound period of time where the way that we think, how we communicate, even the way that we're going to create money is going to shift radically. And the people who are going to thrive in this next iteration and era are not going to be the smartest. They are going to be the most regulated. So lean in. If you were born in the early to mid 80s, you're going to want to stay for a specific section in this video where I'm talking deeply about the Uranus opposition because it is directly impacting you, your energy, and your life. So if you've been feeling restless or you haven't been getting enough sleep, maybe you're feeling this wired energy bubbling in you and you're having trouble thinking clearly or choosing a direction, this can be a part of what's coming in. So, also, for those of you who maybe aren't going through your Uranus opposition, stay to the end because I'm going to do a short Uranus tuning specifically to help you land and ground this energy. And also, this is your opportunity to subscribe for more videos just like this one. Well, hello, gorgeous. I'm Tara Kinden, founder of Bioenergetic Somatics. I work at the intersection of cosmic rhythms, somatic intelligence, frequency, and sound. My goal is truthfully to help you stay in your body, clear, regulated, and grounded while everything else is speeding up. And this shift, Uranus moving into Gemini, it's a big one. All right, what even is this shift? Well, Uranus is about disruption, innovation. It speeds things up. Gemini is about the mind, communication, information, networks. So when Uranus moves into Gemini, everything is going to accelerate in our mental mind. This is where we're seeing AI expand and communication change, learning change. But most importantly, this is rewiring how we are going to process the reality around us. And so, of course, we're going to look at the human design and astrology charts. And as we're looking at those charts, I want to remind you that Uranus is moving into Gemini and is going to travel forward up to 5 degrees by September. And then he's going to retrograde back to about 1 degree by next February. So, this isn't a full on push forward yet, but this is an initiation. And this is a turning on of the new systems, if you will, and then asking us, like, can you hold this energy? So, yes, you will be able to because you're going to be regulated, but some other folks, they may struggle. And there's no going back into Taurus. Like, there's no retrograding back. He's only going forward. So, there is no way that we can go back to the old systems once this energy kind of ticks over. Now, I want to take this layer of the Sabian symbols a little bit deeper because I think it gives you more context. And the first few degrees of Gemini that Uranus is going to be moving through is going to tell us a deeper story about how things are going to unfold. So, Uranus comes into Gemini at 0 degrees, of course, and then by September, it's going to be about 5 degrees, 41 minutes. And then it's going to start retrograding back to about 1 degree by February 2027. So this isn't the full push forward yet. It's an initiation into those first 5 degrees, right? At 1 degree of Gemini, we're looking at a glass bottom boat revealing undersea wonders. So, right away, this is about us being able to see beneath the surface, seeing things that were always there for us to see, but maybe we didn't have access to it before. And this is exactly what this transit is doing. It's revealing the layers, the information, the patterns, the insights. We're not just learning more, we're actually seeing more. And because you can see more, that doesn't mean your system is going to know how to process it or what to do with it. Then we move into the 2 degree mark, and this is Santa Claus feverishly filling stockings. It's about things happening behind the scenes. Like, we don't always see that. It's that quiet support, quiet gifting of information that's arriving subtly. Maybe it happens in your sleep. This is where downloads or ideas just drop in or pop in, and the sense that something is shifting, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. Not everything shaping your reality is going to be obvious. Then we look at the 3 degree mark of Gemini, and this is the garden of the Tuileries. And now we're moving into more structure, more order. This is a designed environment. It was created by humans. This is where everything you're seeing and receiving starts asking for organization. Because without structure, more information is going to just become top heavy and very overwhelming. So, this is where our nervous system is really going to matter because structure doesn't happen in the mind, it happens through the embodiment process. Then we get to 4 degrees of Gemini, and this is the holly and the mistletoe, bringing Christmas spirit to a home. I find it so interesting. Christmas is so involved. But, anyways, we're moving into more meaning, into feeling, into atmosphere, into energy, into connection, because information alone is never enough. It has to mean something. We have to feel it. We have to land it. We have to embody it. And this is where frequency comes in. This is where what you create actually is going to land. Then, when we hit 5 degrees, this is around that September mark when we get a radical magazine displays a sensational front page. This is where things are going to get really loud, right? We're going to get fast communication. We're going to get big headlines. We're going to get attention grabbing messaging. And this is where things are going to start, like the rocket boosters are going to go on. And not everything is going to feel grounded. So just because something is loud does not mean it's true. And this is going to be really important. So, if you're looking at this progression through this 5 degrees that we just talked about, we go from seeing beneath the surface to receiving something that's not visible to needing structure to create more meaning to navigate the noise and the chaos. If you skip through any parts of this process, you won't get clarity. You're going to feel overwhelmed. And this is why this whole process isn't just a mental shift, it's a full system shift because your body is what's going to allow you to filter, to organize, to feel what's actually true for you. Otherwise, you're just going to be taking in way more information than you know what to do with it. And this is seriously the most important piece because Uranus only moves through these first 5 degrees before it retrogrades back to 1, but it never goes back into Taurus again, right? It's going to keep on moving. So even though there's a recalibration, there's no return to the old pace, the old stability, the old structures, the old way of operating. The system has already turned on and started moving forward. But now it's going to be asking you, can you hold it? This one is the piece I was saying to make sure you leaned in for. So, if you were born in the early to mid 80s, you are 100% dropped in it. You are in your Uranus opposition right now, which means your whole system is going through an electrical upgrade. And it can feel like a lot. So, what does that actually feel like? It can feel like anxiety. It can feel like overwhelm, but it isn't just anxiety. It can feel like a sense of restlessness, like you can't even sit down in your own life anymore. You're questioning everything. You might notice that your reactions are quicker and sharper. You just don't have patience. You can't tolerate things like you once were able to tolerate. And this is because there is this big charge moving through your system. Like something is rebuilding, reprogramming, rewiring, and you don't even know what to fully do with it yet. That's Uranian. That's what he does. He's electrical. He moves through the system so fast. And maybe you've heard about Kundalini energy before. So, this is what a lot of women will describe as a type of awakening in the body where they feel like this pulsing energy, more sensation. They're more aware of the body. Some people will call this the Kundalini rising, and some people try to push it early on in life, which is a terrible idea. But, anyways, I'm less interested in what we're calling it and more interested in whether your system knows how to be able to handle it, or you do, anyways. Because when more energy is invited into the body and moving through it, it can feel like overwhelming anxiety. It can feel like you're just on all the time, and it can feel like it's just too much. And it's like, there's no room for all of this new energy if you haven't taken time to slow down. The more energy isn't actually the problem. it's not knowing how to hold on to it or what to do with it while it's moving through. Because if you're in this phase, you were born with Uranus and Sagittarius, which means at your core you're wired for freedom, truth, expression, doing things your own way. So all the places that hasn't been true for you is like, yeah, we're going for it. And it can get very loud. It can get very unsettling. So when Uranus is moving through Gemini, which is directly opposite to your Sag planets, especially if you have Sag planets, Sun, and all the things, oh my goodness, you could just feel like your life is exponentially changing and you're changing how you speak, how you move. So I see this as this electric woman vibe. And I wore my lightning bolt earrings just for you because this is the rise of electricity in women. It's women who can feel this energy deeply moving through them. And instead of shutting it down, they want to learn, how do I work with this? How do I harness this? And how do I use it to come in tune with my voice and my own authentic signature? And clearly, because I'm mentioning it here, it's part of a bigger picture, but I only want to give you just a little bit of recognition like, oh, yeah, that's me. And I feel that. There will be more videos talking about this in depth, but just like that resonates, make sure to comment below. Let me know, like, yeah, girl, I feel that all the way. Okay, now let's also talk about how this is going to show up massively in business and commerce. Things are going to move faster. Decisions are going to need to happen quicker. People are going to buy based on resonance. But here's the truth to that: if you're not authentically aligned in your work, people are going to come in fast and they're going to leave just as fast because Gemini moves. It's curious, it sees all sides. And if your work isn't anchored in something real and foundational, it isn't going to last. It isn't going to hold. And this is where, frequency led leadership in business becomes a very powerful ally and tool. We want to be curious. We want to be alive. We want to be responsive. We want to be embodied. And we want to know who the F we are so that we can deliver that message from a really clear, grounded, powerful way. Okay, let's dive into the astrology and the human design next. And with the human design, this is where I find it to get very interesting because Uranus has been in gate 8 for some time, which is really about authentic contribution and our voice, what we bring to the table authentically. And then in April 28th, when it moves into gate 20, this is about the now. And this is about all that throat based energy. This is about our self expression and utilizing our voice for manifestation and what comes out of us in real time. We move from figuring things out into this very abstract way about what our voice could do into full on embodiment of like, this is who I am, this is what I have to say, and this is what I'm ready to say. And we're going to see this play out both in the astrology and in the human design, but you're going to have a chance to land it differently based on the information you're about to receive. So let's get into it. Okay, my loves, let's now look at the astrology chart for the snapshot in time that Uranus moves into Gemini. Now, remember, this is a transit chart. This is not your personal chart. So it is very important for you to get your natal chart to know what house Uranus is going to be remodeling for you over this next 8-year period. It will be very important. And if you're like, Tara, I have no idea how to read my chart or any of that information, listen, I'm going to put a link to a quick guide that I did on astrology to help you understand a little bit more. But also, once you pull your chart, you can actually send me your chart or comment below in the comments in the YouTube video saying, like, okay, I'm seeing that my Gemini house is my first house. And I'll give you a little bit of insight just to make this more personal for each of you. Now, if it's in your first house, just as an example, you are going to personally get a transformation in the I am of the chart. That's you. It's how you face forward. This is the first impression you make to the world. And so for the next 8 years, it's like your whole identity is going to be shifting and changing and evolving quite dramatically and quite quickly. So, Uranus in general, he is electric. He likes to march to the beat of his own drum. He craves authenticity. He pushes us in ways that we're not always comfortable with. And the gift to that is it gets us unstuck. He helps us to unstick from the places that we are very comfortable in. So if you're in a rut and you're like, yeah, but this rut is comfortable, he's going to be like, no, your rut sucks. I'm going to help you get out of it. And he's really going to push you. And the beauty of this moment in time when he jumps into Gemini is that he will be conjunct Venus. So you can see here, Venus and him are riding together right away in Gemini. And this is really signaling there will be an element of beauty. There will be an element of worth and value and magnetism because she is magnetic. He's electric. Like, just imagine how this, you know, they move in initially in April. Venus will be moving into Gemini as well. But April 25th is when Uranus is going to move into Gemini for his first time. Now, the other thing to know, as you remember earlier in the video, he does not go back into Taurus. And when he was in Taurus, he really shook up the foundation of our financial systems, of our housing systems, of just the creature comforts and the things that we love and the lusciousness of life. And remember, Venus rules Taurus. So I find it so profound that after his journey through Taurus, she is helping escort him into Gemini, being like, okay, can we now make the way that we communicate with each other more beautiful? Can we help make commerce more ease filled and playful and beautiful? Everything is about beauty. When Venus is involved, it's about the lusciousness of life. And it really is about, maybe there's new ways to sell things. Maybe there will be ways where we can use our feelings more than we use our intellect. And I think this is why she is there saying, okay, we need to be embodied. We need to find a way to make this work for us. Let me help you get started. And that's where I think, what a great gift that she's going to be there for this. Also, they're going to be making a collective connection to Pluto and Juno. So, Pluto is the god of the underworld over here in Aquarius, and he's riding with Juno. If you watch my full moon video that happened on the 1st of April, you will have learned that the goddesses were working very heavily with the masculine planets, and that when this transition happens, we have a more weight and masculine energy in this chart, but nobody is out of bounds. We have fire and earth in balance, but we have low water. Okay, we have low water, and that's important. It's important to know because it won't be as emotional. And of course, Gemini is less emotional, more curious. There's just going to be so much curiosity. This is where the mind can run a little wild. So it's important that you really sit back in the seat of the soul and ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Am I embodied? Am I not embodied? What's happening in my body? I'm being very aware of that over these next 8 years. Your body is going to tell you. It's your somatic intelligence. So when I tell you that in my bioenergetic somatics method, I really focus on the intelligence of the body, the somatic awareness, all of your senses, and Mars, Mercury, Eris, Chiron, Saturn, Neptune, all hanging out in Aries is welcoming in this frequency led lead her ship, which is what I'm calling it, because there is this new way to lead ourselves through self leadership. I trust myself. I know where I want to go. I take a chance. I take action. I don't keep talking about it. I actually make things go in a way that I want them to go based on my energy. I don't take action until my energy is on point. and I feel that inner fire, then I take action. That's really when we're looking at frequency led leadership, it's like we got to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. So we tune into the body to be like, boom, am I dropped into this moment, or am I thinking about the future? Am I thinking about the past? Am I making decisions from that place? Because Uranus doesn't care where you're making a decision from. He just wants to help you get moving. So it's our duty to really land in us, in the seat of ourselves. And that's all this Aries energy. This is the initiation here with Saturn and Neptune, higher self, higher consciousness, structures and boundaries around how we integrate information. It is important we integrate the information before we just go off and do certain things. We are healing in this time our divine feminine. We are healing our leadership. Leadership. All right. So that's the basics of the chart when we're looking at the astrology. Next up, let's take a quick peek at the human design chart. All right, my loves. Now we are diving into the human design chart. So, again, this is that snapshot in that moment when Uranus actually moves into Gemini, but also it's a little bit different. So we're looking at a different date. So we're looking at the 28th when he actually ticks into Gemini's into the new gate from gate 8 into gate 20. And it's all throat based energy. Okay. So at the time that he ticks over, and again, human design can be very complicated very quickly. I don't want you to worry about any of this stuff, truthfully, because the imprint of when he moves in is an emotional generator, which does mean, remember I was saying in the astrology, like it's not as emotional, but there is an element here of needing to feel our feels to take action. So that repeats here as the emotional generator being the life force workforce, energies that get the things done. It feels very Aries, but it's important to know we have this exciting imprint of moving the things forward that maybe we've been contemplating and stuck on. We've had all these new ideas. I mean, since COVID, you've had 1,000 new ideas and you've looked at life in multiple different ways. We're getting now an opportunity to speak what we want into action. And that is the greatest gift of the throat being fully activated from the gate 8, which is about our fulfillment. It's about our authenticity. It's about us stepping into that full golden frequency of us. Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like for you to be fully embodied and luscious and delicious in the way that you deliver your message to the world? Because I think one of the most exciting things about human design is it truly shows us where things show up in the body energetically. And sometimes the astrology can feel a little bit more abstract where the human design lands it. And I always like to use this analogy of like if you were building a house, the astrology is the foundation, it's the base framework, where the human design is the energetic layers and levels of how the energy wants to move through the home. And then how do we do that? How do we navigate that, right? Because we have the throat being activated here, I think it's really important to address some of the energies that may show up for all of us over this next period of time, because that gate 20 really invites in a sense of presence, a sense of being in the now. It's about our breath. It's about being in the present moment with your nervous system. So this is where we can take spontaneous action, but there's things that will come out of your mouth that you just feel like you need to say it. There will be a little bit of almost like a pressure to say things now, not to wait. It's in the moment. It's very emotionally aligned with the authenticity in the sense of being really fully landed in the moment. And this is the freshness of spring. So if we think about the timing of this, it really is truly pure presence. It's a very, very embodied energy. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, when we moved from the gate 8 into the gate 20, the difference between these energies is about the way we were contributing. So we had this invitation about like how we were contributing our style. You've been working on this. Some of you have been working on this for a really long time. It's like using your hands for certain things. It's your aesthetic, your expression. What's your unique style? Uranus moving through here for the period of time that he did is like really got us to rework the way we were going to contribute something. And now it's like we're going to express it. We are really bringing it in and home, and we're going to express it. And that feels different. That feels like a very different energy. The throat center is really how we're going to show up in the world, because we've had all these great stories and now we're actually going to bring them into manifestation. And that's what the voice does. It's about the manifestation valve. And this is not about being super spiritual or super mystical. It's truly, I think I might have just glitched out there, but this is what we're going to get into when we're in Uranus in Gemini. So think of it like a faucet, okay? Just think of this as your manifestation valve. This is how you're going to roll with this energy. This is how you're going to use it, but you want to watch thyroid. Here's some things I just want you to keep in mind. You want to watch your thyroid, you want to watch the parathyroid, your vocal cords, your jaw, your tongue, your neck, any of the fascia in the neck, the arms, uh the way that the breath and the airflow works, and your metabolism, because it will be tied to the thyroid. Think about your pacing and your tempo in life, because we if you have burnout or thyroid dysregulation, it will create burnout, rushing, talking way too much, or it could potentially bring in silence or shutting yourself down. So just quickly, like that was some things for you to notice, to note. And yes, we will continue to talk about this. This will not be the first rodeo, but just so you have a little bit more context in looking at the chart in real time. Okay, so what actually matters in a time like this is not more information, not trying to keep up. It is actually learning how to stay in your body while everything else is kind of speeding up, because your voice can only work if it's connected to your body. I'm going to give you a little sound healing here to drop into the Uranus frequency. And as we're dropping in, you can kind of allow yourself to come out of the mind, take some really nice deep breaths to settle in, find a comfortable space, and let's dive in. Okay, let's dive into my absolute favorite part, which is the sound and frequency section. Today, I have the Uranus tuning fork and I have the Venus tuning fork, and I also have the 174, which is designed to break up density. It's also designed to ground us down and in, which I feel as though we move into Uranus and Gemini, we're all going to need more grounding. So you can bring your attention to your feet. And I'm going to start with the 174. Take a deep breath in. And let go of any lingering tensions. Maybe you've had a busy day today. Maybe your day hasn't even started. But breathing into the space of your feet, connecting yourself down and into the earth below that supports you. Noticing if there's any disconnection between you and the earth. If you're struggling to feel a sense of connection, breathing in here. And you can gently move, you can shake it out. Don't feel like you have to stay stoic or static. You can bring in a little movement. And this one is going to be short and sweet today, but it is going to be a powerful reconnection to ground, to the heart, and of course, to the electric energies of Uranus. So breathing here. I'm going to take one more tap here to ground us down. You can even envision the color red coming up through the feet, almost like you're breathing in through the feet. Anchoring that root, One more. I said one. Really feels necessary to do an extra here. And now let's invite in a little Venusian energy. Opening and breathing into the heart space. Welcoming and calling in a little more love, a little more worth, a little more value. Opening up vortex here in the heart space to amplify this energy. We could all use a little amplification of love and heart-based energies. And for some of you, this may feel intense, and that's right on time. So breathe here into this space. Let the heart open, let the heart expand. And right away, I'm going to bring in a little Uranian energy. So this is Venus and Uranus working together. And because they are conjunct as this begins, I think it's important for them to work together in supporting us. Feeling that excitement and electricity building in the heart, amplifying, just creating new pathways, new experiences, new possibilities. And getting excited about what this transit, what this new energy is going to bring for all of us. Breathing in and feeling your throat work with words, work with concepts, work with ideas that you're ready to bring into form. You could hear the tone changing of these two as they're working together. Feels more beautiful, more warm. And allowing, again, that just vortex to build here. Thinking that vortex in the front of the throat. What are you going to manifest over these next 8 years? Just take one more deep breath and focus on the possibilities, the potentials that are ready for you. And we'll wrap it up with one more tap here. And let me ground us down once more with that 174. Just kind of landing and dropping it back in and down. Breathing in, exhale out. Take one more deep breath in. You can come back to this, of course, at any time. It'll always be here for you. And so, if this resonated in your spirit, in your soul, in your vibes, please share this with a woman in your life who is going through it. You know who she is because she's feeling all of this energy too. And she needs a little help, maybe understanding what's happening. What are these changes? What is going on in my body? And it costs absolutely nothing to share, but it can give her some language and context to something she might not have words for in this particular moment. And this is the real gift here is that when you understand what's happening, you can actually do something with it. And if you haven't already, I'm going to keep preaching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know, like, what are you feeling? What are you noticing? Because I want you to always remember who you came here to be. And if you're wondering, what do I watch next? You watch this one right here. This is the full moon that is happening in Libra On April the 1st, yes, April Fool's Day, it is going to be a really great and powerfully transformative moon for all of us.